Everybody, so I hope everybody is doing well. Right now I am in Oregon and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of all the wildfires that are going around. We are safe and we've been fortunate to have friends come and stay with us if need be. So just continue to lift up prayers for us that we will get some rain. That is what we're famous for, so hopefully it will start raining soon. And just kind of, just put these forest fires out, but just hope everybody is staying safe. It's been a crazy 2020, but you know what, we're resilient and we will get through this. So just kind of staying indoors for right now because the index is just, with the air pollution and everything, it's really high. I think we're about in the 400 or 500s right now, so it's really toxic out there a little bit. So just kind of trying to stay inside, catch up on some videos, and spend some time with you. So in this video, I am going to be doing my brows. So as you can see, girl, I've really got none. So I've always had super thin eyebrows, and I just try to come up with just different techniques on kind of fluffing them up. I know a lot of people are really into microblading, things like that. For myself, I don't want to get into anything that I would have to continuously keep up with on that type of scale. And my skin isn't always keloid if I get a scratch or anything like that, but it has, and I have, a couple in different places. And so I don't want to have that same effect on my face if I have to continuously scrape at it, for microblading. So just with my skin texture and, the darkness of the pigment of my skin, I don't think microblading is best suited for me, but if that works for you, go ahead. But if not, I hope in this video that I can kind of show you just with the way that I do my brows, if it's something, that you would want to try, or a technique that you can kind of pull from and pull it into your makeup routine. So with that being said, and that was a lot, let's just go ahead and get into it right now. Okay, so to start, I will kind of show you guys some of the things that I use, some of the products and stuff, but I'll just kind of come in, I know, not too close. But as you can see, just, my eyebrows, they are just super thin. You can kind of see the shape. And I used to kind of go in with either, I think I had them waxed once, but just, either I would, I used to nair them, I used to tweeze them, I used to have waxing done. I tried everything just to kind of see what worked. And then I just figured after a while, my hair is so thin that even if there's some strays underneath, I'm okay with that. And after I kind of clean it up using some foundation and everything else that I use, you can't even tell that, there's stray hairs because they're so thin. So what I like to do is first, with a spoolie, is just to kind of brush those hairs, kind of like into position of like where I want them to be. Do is, as I'm doing my steps, instead of like rambling on and talking about all those things, I think what I'll do is just kind of do like a voiceover, just so you can kind of see, some of the steps and things like that, but I can just kind of more focus on what I'm doing so that I'm not just kind of going back and forth and rambling a little too much, because a girl likes to talk and I don't want to make this video too long for you. You guys, I'm so grateful for you guys watching, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm just grateful for you guys being here right now. So with that being said, okay, so starting, I like to use a pressed powder, or this is the Mercier translucent powder, but just kind of tapping that into the brows. This is where I get the most oiliest on my face. And so if I can just kind of start with, a really nice smooth base so that it's not slick in any way, everything just tends to adhere a little bit better. And this is the Wet n Wild. This is a brown eyeliner pen, but I just love with the felt pen tip how precise I can get it, either with the strokes or just filling in the shape. So I just like to kind of do that on the top and also at the bottom, and just kind of go around so that I can get the shape that best works for my face. So you may have to play around with this if this is something that you use, to see what works best for you, and just kind of matching that up just to make sure that the end of the brow doesn't go past that line for me. It just tends to look a lot more natural. And as you can see, this is the shape that best works for my face, but you play around with it and kind of see what works best for you. And don't worry, for me, sometimes I get like, just a bumpiness. My hand is not always as steady as depending, on the type of day, but that can always be cleaned up later, and I'll show you how. So just kind of going to the other side and just doing the same thing, just filling in the shape and just kind of getting it to, the way I like my eyebrows to be, and just trying to get that shape. And as you can see with this pen, I like it because you can go in between as well and just kind of do small lines and hair-like strokes, almost giving you that look of like microblading, but without all of that, commitment, and just kind of going in with a spoolie and just kind of, fluffing that in and just trying to pull all of that, together. And then using my LA Girl brow pomade and a small brush, I like to just kind of, fill that in a little bit more. And I like the brow pomade because it just helps to pull the hairs into place. It's really nice and it gives really good color, and the color is buildable as well. So if you want it to be a little bit darker and more dramatic, you can do that. Or if you just want it to be a little bit more natural and lighter, you can do that as well. And then just using the end of the spoolie and kind of turning it in the opposite direction, just to kind of fill in, more of the front of the brow, in more like hair-like, strokes, things like that, and just kind of really getting that shape. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and do the other side, just so that I can kind of stay, within reason of trying to match up my brows so that they're not too off or too wonky. So just kind of going in on the other side. And with this one, I'm just using the brow pomade, just so you can kind of see the difference of how it looks if you don't want to do filling them in with the eyebrow pen. So usually this is the method I use. Like if I'm just running out the door, I'm running errands, just on any given day, it just looks a little bit more natural to me. I do like that the brow pen tends to, give me a little bit more definition, but as you can see the difference, it definitely gives a little bit more of a natural feel. But yes, as you can see from either side, it's not quite matched up yet. It does take time to kind of just master this, play around with it. But again, in between steps, it's really important to kind of brush the brows and just kind of get them, into direction. And if you feel like towards the front, for me, I like to use just, a Q-tip, or this is one of my favorite little brushes, and just kind of dab that into the brow pomade and just help to fill that in a little bit more. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys some of the other products that I've used. Either I used them in the past, like this one. It's this Can't Stop, Won't Stop brow gel, and it just kind of comes with this little brush. And it does come off a little bit wet, especially when you're kind of filling that in. But once you start to just kind of fluff it and brush it in, which the brush comes on the other side, it does blend a little bit well. It does work, and I kind of wanted to kind of show you guys some options. But it's not something that I use on a regular basis. The next product is from Glossier, and I believe this is called their Brow Boy or Boy Brow. But I got this for my birthday, and I really like it. I don't think I would have tried it otherwise. And this is something you can order online.
And it comes in, I want to say, a blonde, a brunette color, and black. And so this is the black that I have, but I really like, it's a buildable color. You can definitely make that a little bit darker if you want, but it's really, really nice. I highly recommend this. And then just kind of going in, these are the two favorite brushes that I like to use. One is like really thin at the tip, and then the other one is more for just blending. But I like to just kind of go back in with my concealer, and that's the e.l.f. Concealer palette that you guys see me use all the time. I really like it, and that can be picked up at Target. I just like to kind of tap that in and just kind of go in and, you know, just kind of going both sides in case I have to change directions. But, you know, because I don't, you know, wax or anything like that underneath, and I have the stray hairs, going in with the concealer really cleans that up and just hides any imperfections that you have, and it really just gives that nice chiseled eyebrow look. So now going in with the more rounded out brush, I like to use this just to kind of blend that in. I don't have, you know, eyeshadow on today, but definitely this is a step that you want to do before you do your eyeshadow, just so that you make sure you get all of that blended into the eye, you know, into the eyes, you know, the eyelid and everything like that. So just kind of going into the top and just kind of cleaning that up and just making sure that there's, you know, just nothing left off. And yes, I can definitely see they're not quite right. And it does kind of just take messing around and playing around with them. But just kind of going in. This is a Morphe brow brush, and again, I like that it's a mechanical pencil, but it's really small, so that it can help you just get into those really small places to kind of just fix that. That area is always something that, you know, you want to make sure you don't neglect, just to make sure that they kind of like match up a little bit. And yes, I know that they're not perfect now that I'm seeing this, but you kind of get the idea of, you know, just kind of going in, you know, with the pencil and the spoolie and just kind of matching those up as much as you can. And then this is my all-time favorite. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. You know, she makes really great brow products, and this is the clear brow gel. Since I started using this, my brows do not move, and they used to kind of fade off during the day or just kind of get smudged, and they just kind of stay in place. But my number one secret for keeping my brows in place is just kind of going back in with my translucent powder and just kind of lightly baking them, basically. So just going over, you know, my eyebrows with the brush, not too much product because you don't want your brows to be white, but just kind of setting them basically so that they don't, you know, move. So don't rub it, but just kind of tap it in and just making sure that, you know, you're set and ready for the day. And since I started using this technique, my brows last all day. Even if it's humid outside, I'm sweating, even if I go to the gym, my eyebrows do not move, and I love it. So I hope you found this helpful. Please forgive my voice. It's a little scratchy this morning, but it was the only chance I had to get this done.
So I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and you found some tips that maybe you can use. Again, these techniques aren't for everybody, but maybe you can kind of pick and choose and see what technique works for you, or maybe what product that you didn't know was out there and you can try. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.